For this part of the build, I'm going to be using these plans to make all these different cabinets. So we're going to be making all of these. I've already got the floor box made, but I got to make the cabinets and then the headboard piece. I've already made the floor box, so I don't need to worry about that one, but I'm going to make all the rest of these cabinets minus the drawer pieces, these different slides. I want to get this all together, get my hardware slide pieces, and then make these drawer pieces just so I can fine tune any of the dimensions. So these plans are really great with how everything is set up for the cut, but what I have to do is some specific things. So I have things like these cutting diagrams that show which parts to cut out of which piece of plywood and all of their different sizes here too. The one thing that would make it a little bit easier for me is to have this in terms of inches total instead of feet and inches. Part of the bigger cuts is to cut some pieces at angles. So like the upper bulkhead, that's going to sit right with the roof of the ceiling of the camper, so this is cut at angles. And some other things to do are the arcs. This is going to be new for me. I've never cut arcs like this before. I'm going to measure all of these out at 2-inch increments and then draw a line connecting all these dots. And I don't have a bandsaw anymore, so I'll be using my jigsaw to cut out these different arcs. And then similar for the different door cutouts for the cabinets. Like this is the interior cabinet, so I'll have to cut these out, and I want to save these 3 pieces here to use as doors. So I'll drill some small holes along each of these lines, enough to fit my jigsaw blade in, and then put that in and cut all the way around nice and slow. So let's get the table saw out and get prepped to do some cutting. I already made a mistake. It has been a week, let me tell you. So what I did was the 1 foot 8 5/8. I can't add. That's 20 5/8, not, what did I say, 16 5/8. So I cut that one at 16, but I do have like a half a sheet that's supposed to be left over from this. So I think I'll have enough, and I was counting on that when I bought this sheet because this one has a nice big hole in it. But I got 2 of them cut on the table saw. I'm going to rip this one down to 4 foot 11. I'm also going to change all my numbers that I have to totally in inches. I still got a bunch of different pieces to cut. The longer pieces, the pieces that are 4 foot 11, and had a couple of blunders, but should be just fine. There's enough plywood. I had a whole half a sheet left over per the cut list, and I've got 2 full sheets left and 3 more of those bigger pieces to do. That stuff is tough. Even my table saw is having a hard time cutting it. I thought that maybe the saw blade was a little bit dull, but it's just really tough to cut. So I found my riving knife, and I got that finally put back on. That should help with keeping plywood and wood from gripping my blade. And I also got a new blade too. Went with a Diablo this time. I really like the orange CMT Tools blade that I had, but that one's old. It's had a lot of wood go through it. So I don't always use the riving knife because I usually have a 0 clearance insert in here, so it doesn't have space for the riving knife. But I'm going to try it with this plywood because it was binding up a little bit, so this will help to keep it from pinching the blade and also help to keep it from pushing over into that way. Well, that's all the cabinet parts cut except for most of the drawer pieces. But I want to get these together, get my drawer slides, and make sure I'm going to cut the rest of the drawer pieces correctly. So I've got the jigsaw pieces next to do. I've got them all marked out. And then I also need to mark these pieces as well for the headboard, because that'll come out into like an arc. Curve like this along it to match where the teardrop is going to come out in the front. So to do that, I'm going to measure 2 inches for each one of these lines, and then measure back and make a dot. And then I'll use a bendable straight edge to mark the line on this one. And then I'll end up cutting it all out with a jigsaw. All right, so I need some help just holding this in because I can't make this arc. And I gotta go right along these dots here. And I can't get this to arc and hold it with 2 hands, and then I have no hands to use the pencil. So I've gone upstairs and asked for some help. We'll see who comes down. Who has come to help me? Aha, a Guirin. Oh, you're not gonna help me? Okay, Eddie, are you ready to help? No. No, it's really easy. So all we have to do is take this piece right here and bend it along these dots. See these dots? Yeah. And then I can do the bending, or you can do the bending, and then one of us will draw a line that this bend makes. You like the line part? Okay. Such great help. So what I'm going to do then is, since we got this line drawn in here along that curve, then I'm going to cut this one out, and then I'm going to trace it onto this one. Now, I know that's against cabinet maker rules. I should draw another line over here and cut this too, because it's going to be offset, but I'm cutting this with a jigsaw, and it's going to be curved along the back with the roof. And the next arcs to draw are the ones for the interior cabinet sides and the dividers. And this profile will follow the ceiling line of the camper. I got some brand new blades for this, Fast and Clean for Wood by Diablo. I already took one out of there. And let's replace the blade I have, which is for hardwood. And then we'll see how much better this one does. Well, here's the difference between the two. The Fast and Clean has bigger teeth, where the clean hardwood has some smaller teeth. That's kind of the nature of jigsaw blades, is they're going up and down. Bandsaws are really nice because they're only going in one direction, so it keeps this from happening. These ones I'm not too worried about because it will be hidden. When I get to the cabinets though, I want to make sure that I don't have really this tear out happening. And this is the underside. It's a really nice line. As close as I can get it with a jigsaw. Alright, and the other thing I want to try is a different blade too. So the Fast and Clean wood, This one's got a really big tooth on it. And then I have another one that's a scroll cut wood, which has these finer teeth on it. And there's something else here too on my jigsaw. There's a lever, so it goes from 0 to 3. 0 is for straight cuts, and then you go up higher for a more aggressive cut and more looseness in the cut for curved or orbital cuts. I'd say that the scroll, this is with the scroll blade at 0, cutting straight. That is really good. Now, this one is more or less with the grain on this laminate. This one's against the grain, and that cut really nice and clean. So I'm gonna try just using that scroll cut for everything. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty okay with this. There's a few spots where, like right here, where I kind of went outside of the line. But what I'm going to do for all of these is sand through all of this to curve these out a little bit more and open the gap. And the upper door is cut out, getting better and better as I go. But one part here, just to show you, is this little guy. This was where I drilled holes into to make room for the blade. And I didn't quite go exactly straight. I was a little bit in, so I have some stuff to clean up there. But like I said, I think I'll be able to clean this all up with sandpaper and make this edge really nice. Get it a little bit more open, which will be perfectly fine for how this will sit in here, to have a little bit more of a gap.